chased down and brutally beaten.
Your Honor, this was an unprovoked, violent, and hateful attack.
We're dissecting the judge's decision to release the teens charged in this hate crime assault, ramping up the risk of a deadly overdose.
Carfentanyl is fentanyl on steroids.
What the DEA discovered in Washington's drug scene for the first time ever. Followed home by a helicopter.
He's just standing next to his bike in the driveway, trying to open his garage door.
How a dirt biker who taunted Kent police made one big blunder tonight in the spotlight. Her injuries are horrific. An eye socket and her nose broken, cheek fractured, and ribs bruised so badly she could barely walk a few feet afterwards. Attacked simply because she asked a group to stop harassing people at the Renton Transit Center, including someone in a wheelchair.
And I made it about a block before I tripped, and then they were on me, and it was fists and feet.
She was savagely beaten on the ground where she was defenseless.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Spotlight, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David Rose. King County prosecutors have charged 3 teens and a 25-year-old man with assault second degree and hate crime. All 4 have pleaded not guilty in the violent attack on a trans woman while making homophobic slurs. The 25-year-old you see here in this surveillance image is Ranmore Elias Edwards, a man with no criminal history who detectives say held Nikki Armstrong in a chokehold while the 3 teens beat and kicked her repeatedly. She told police she thought they were going to kill her as her body went limp. Edwards is being held on $300,000 bail. However, King County Judge Veronica Galvin and then Judge Joe Campagna ruled to release the 15, 16, and 17-year-olds on electronic home monitoring. So tonight, I'm taking you inside the courtroom as he heard from both sides before making his decision.
When the victim first ran away from the group, the suspects, one of them yelled, "Get the f***." When she tripped, another one again yelled, "Get the tranny."
When the 15 and 17-year-old brothers and a 16-year-old appeared in court, King County Senior Deputy Prosecutor Sarah Erickson Mills described in detail the hate crime attack each is accused of committing on September 15th. The 2 brothers had been initially released on an ankle monitor. Mills argued to reverse that.
Your Honor, this was an unprovoked, violent, and hateful attack. The state is requesting that the court remand the respondent to secure detention based on a very, very serious concern for community safety.
Judge Campagna first asked for a recommendation from the brothers' probation counselor.
They have had no violations while on the ankle monitors. I do want to highlight that they did have a sort of unique situation where the family home had no power. So we were able to get them set up with some extra batteries in order for them to remain in compliance with the ankle with ASD. They did a great job of working with us around this. They were, very patient in trying to problem solve. Parents are clearly appropriate supervisors at this time, but beyond that, I do not have any input.
Neither suspect has a prior criminal history, so he ruled they could remain free until trial, but warned they're getting a chance.
I'm not sure I see a legal basis at this time to change the decision that the court previously made. However, let me emphasize, as much as it's humanly possible to, that the orders of the court, the level of supervision, the home monitoring, and the no contact orders are extremely strict. I'm not going to be handling your case going forward. This is a 1A case. Were I to handle it, and if I had any indication that you were having any form of contact with the Renton Transit Center or the alleged victim, Ms. Armstrong, or that you had removed your ankle monitor, or that you were otherwise violating court orders, I can assure you there would be warrants issued as fast as I could sign them, and you would spend the rest of your time here.
Attention then turned to the 16-year-old who had surrendered to police the previous night. Detectives say video showed him punching the victim 12 times while she lay on the ground. Again, the judge asked the probation counselor for his recommendations.
This is a very serious allegation, and I've thought long and hard about my recommendation, and I was initially leaning towards secure detention, but after talking with his parents and really hashing out the different circumstances and Your Honor, probation is open to EHM, but ultimately we'll defer to court.
The suspect's parents were in the courtroom as well, so Judge Campagna heard from his mom.
Do you have any concerns about him coming home at night or things of that nature?
Absolutely not.
The victim's advocate also weighed in, describing Nikki's significant pain and fear.
And in terms of safety, she's expressed significant serious concerns. And she would like to emphasize, just that the youth should remain in secure detention, just fearful about the possibility of their release, and given the violent nature of the assault and ongoing risk to their safety and well-being.
Prosecutor Mills once again asked for secure detention.
This was not only a very violent assault, as the court is aware, but it was completely unprovoked and motivated by hate.
In making his decision, Judge Campagna called the allegations shocking, but noted that the teen surrendered to police with his mother and has no prior criminal history.
Having balanced those various things and being very mindful of serious concerns, I will find a risk to public safety and order home monitoring with no expanded zone.
So while the teens stay home with mommy and daddy, the judge ordered them to have no contact whatsoever with the victim. Nikki is still in a lot of pain and tells me she has an appointment now scheduled with a plastic surgeon to begin the process of repairing the extensive damage to her face. She has a long recovery ahead and can't work. We have a link to her GoFundMe in this story on our website, fox13seattle.com. Well, no helmet, no lights, and no turn signals. Kent police recently tried to pull over a dirt bike that wasn't street legal, but the rider refused to stop and then taunted officers, trying to get them to chase him. They didn't take the bait, but little did that dirt biker know there was a helicopter overhead.
When he just pulled into a residence and got off the bike.
Home safe after a night of reckless driving. But Kent police say this suspect was wearing earplugs and had no idea King County's Guardian 1 helicopter was following him. You can see the moment he looked up and figured it out.
And he's just standing next to his bike in the driveway, trying to open his garage door.
After ditching his bike in the garage, he bolted out the back door.
Guardian 1, he's running out the back.
It's the chase he was asking for. Just a short time ago, police say this guy was popping wheelies on his dirt bike, circling patrol cars, and taking selfies.
Hopping a fence northbound.
Guardian 1 kept track as he trudged through a retention pond.
Doubling back eastbound, kind of in the direction of his house.
Guiding units on the ground.
All right, that house to your right, he's in that backyard.
Until the suspect rounded a corner into custody, with 4 officers swooping in.
And they're taking him into custody.
Taking him into custody.
Oh, the 26-year-old Kent man is being charged with attempting to elude a police vehicle, reckless driving, and driving while license suspended, 3rd degree. Well, the body of a woman who went missing from Bothell back in June has been found in Mason County. This is 27-year-old Mallory Barber. Mason County Sheriff's detectives say they are investigating her death as a homicide and need your help. Her body was located in the woods near Highway 3 and Pickering Road in Mason County on September 15th. Detectives say her remains had been at that location for an extended period of time. If you have any information that may help, contact the Mason County Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen, 360-424-9670. Kitsap County Sheriff's deputies are trying to identify a person of interest in an arson investigation. Take a look. The Sheriff's Office posted this photo of the suspect riding a bike. They're asking the public if they recognize him or the bike they're riding. The person's wanted for questioning in a series of arson fires in the Tracyton area from May through July. One of those fires damaged a bridge in Bremerton. Fires have also been set near Tracyton Elementary School, a post office, and a Boy Scout hall. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $1,000 for anyone with information that leads to an arrest. You can submit an anonymous tip through the P3 Tips app or call 1-800-222-TIPS. Tacoma police captured a serial domestic violence offender after he tried to run from them. Back on September 22nd, officers showed up to a property near the Tacoma Dome for complaints of trespassing. That's when they saw Milton Scott and a woman on the back porch of that property. Officers ran their names and found Scott had a felony warrant for domestic violence in King County. As soon as they told him he was not free to leave and would be arrested, well, he took off. An officer chased him down after a 100-yard dash. Scott was wanted by Kent police after being charged with domestic violence burglary. Detectives say he broke into a woman's apartment by removing her air conditioner. He's also charged with 2 counts of assault. Police say he shoved a young girl, causing her to hit her back on a deadbolt when she tried to run to a neighbor's to call 911 to help her mom who was being attacked. Scott has 5 previous convictions for domestic violence assault involving women since 2008. He's being held without bail on a DOC warrant for escape from community custody and on a $200,000 bail for domestic violence burglary 1st degree and DV assault 4th degree. Well, a deadly warning tonight from the DEA in Seattle after more than 50,000 pills containing carfentanyl were recently seized. Carfentanyl is 100 times more deadly than fentanyl. Just a microscopic amount can kill you. It's the first time agents have seen the fake M30 pills here that are just carfentanyl with a filler, no fentanyl. I talked with DEA Special Agent in Charge Dave Reams about the threat they pose.
Carfentanyl is fentanyl on steroids.
This graphic demonstrates just how lethal a dose of carfentanyl can be. 2 milligrams of fentanyl seen on the tip of the pencil on the left can kill you, while just 0.02 milligrams of carfentanyl shown on the right can be fatal.
Carfentanyl is not designed for human consumption. Carfentanyl is made to tranquilize elephants in a veterinary setting. So it's an elephant tranquilizer.
Last week, the DEA, ATF, Federal Way Police, and Centralia Police seized 50,208 pills from a suspect at a gas station in Centralia.
This could have been a tragic event if this load had come through to the Seattle-Tacoma area.
Yeah. So how do addicts know the difference?
See, these pills looked exactly the same as the blue M30s that you typically see with fentanyl. In fact, when we seized them, we thought it was fentanyl. We only found out it was carfentanyl when we sent it to the lab because even trained DEA agents couldn't tell the difference.
In recent years, carfentanyl has been found mixed in with other drugs to make them more powerful. The King County Medical Examiner's Office reports 6 carfentanyl-related overdoses in 2024 and 4 so far in 2025. That number could have quickly skyrocketed if these pills had hit the streets. And would Narcan even work on this?
Narcan would work on this opiate, but it's so potent, so powerful, so deadly that it might take more than one dose, might take multiple doses, might take more doses than someone would have.
He says this shipment was trafficked here from Mexico by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG, designated by President Trump as a foreign terrorist organization. Agents say El Mencho is the wanted leader.
The CJNG is a ruthless cartel. Their only purpose in life is to make money profiting from the misery of our communities. So we are cracking down on CJNG this week.
Normally, you keep these operations under wraps until they're over. Why be so public about it now?
Because it's a huge public safety threat. It's a huge public health crisis. And DEA is doing all we can in every sphere, with both enforcement and outreach and media, everything we can do. We're trying to use every tool at our disposal to combat CJNG.
The driver accused of trafficking the pills, Nathaniel Washington, was arrested and is facing federal charges. But he may not be the only one bringing this deadly drug here. What is the possibility that other carfentanyl has made its way to Western Washington?
It's certainly possible. We didn't even know this was carfentanyl when we seized it. So chances are strong that there's more carfentanyl like this out in the world, which just reinforces the message that you should not take any pill that's not prescribed for you by a doctor.
No judgment here at all, but please, if you know anyone who is using fentanyl, warn them immediately that the next pill they take or smoke could likely be the very last one they ever use. It is that serious. The mother of Oakley Carlson, who was 5 years old when she disappeared in 2021, has been released from the Washington Correction Center for Women in Purdy. Jordan Bowers has served her time for identity theft and fraud. She was set to be released in late July, but that was delayed as the Department of Corrections searched for a bed for her in a transition house. Sources tell me that will not be in Western Washington, but will be in another part of Washington State. Bowers and Andrew Carlson, Oakley's father, are suspects in their daughter's disappearance. Neither has cooperated in the investigation. I spoke with Grays Harbor Sheriff Darren Wallace earlier this summer, and he says at this point, the case is not being pursued as a no-body homicide.
We just don't have enough evidence to arrest her or Andrew Carlson, the parents. We need some physical evidence, and that evidence that's missing is Oakley Carlson. So unless we find the body of Oakley Carlson or evidence supporting, like a big blood pool or something like that, supporting that she's dead, we just don't have enough to arrest them at this point.
So they need your help. Grays Harbor County Sheriff's detectives are hoping a public awareness campaign will help solve the case. That campaign involves more than a dozen digital billboards, reminding the public there is a $100,000 cash reward being offered in her case. A prolific theft suspect in Pierce County just racked up another charge after his latest arrest. Nick Laskopsov pleaded not guilty in court Thursday to unlawful possession of a stolen vehicle. This latest case involves a Range Rover he allegedly stole from outside Costco in Gig Harbor back in April. Laskopsov spent almost a year on the run, but was arrested back on August 9th thanks to an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. He had multiple felony warrants for his arrest. In one case, Furcrest police say he stole a $100,000 tractor from a golf course and then advertised it for sale in a post called Let's Make a Deal. Before this hearing, he was already being held on a combined bail of $170,000 in 4 separate cases.
What I see here is that he keeps offending over and over and over. He is again being held now, and I don't see he's been able to make bail on any of these cases previously.
Still, at this hearing, the judge upped his bail by another $50,000. Everett police are trying to track down a group of women who stole a custom-made quinceañera gown from a boutique in Everett. When the shop owner chased them out, the thieves hit her with their getaway vehicle. The Spotlight's Alejandra Guzman spoke with the woman who was hit. She says this is not about a stolen dress, but a blow to the Latino community.
From the outside, the store may look small, but don't be fooled. Inside Las Tres Beautiful's boutique in Everett, the racks are overflowing with sparkle and tradition. Dresses made for life's biggest moments.
Any special occasion, we go from homecoming, prom, wedding, quinceañeras, baptism, first communion.
This isn't just any dress shop. It's a family legacy. Eli Vasquez, her mom and sister, have been in the business for 17 years. Their legacy was shaken when Eli says 2 women with children walked in asking to try on dresses.
This hot pink dress, she grabbed it and was like, I want to try on this one. And so I was like, okay, I can't do that right now. Like, I need an appointment. And so she was just like, no, I'm just going to take it.
Eli was the only one in the store. She says as she helped one of them into the gown, 2 more women walked in.
I'm trying to help her. She's trying to distract me. She's asking like 1,000 questions. So my mind's kind of like looking, trying to answer, trying to help, looking, trying to answer, and trying to help. So I was really like, honestly, a little distracted. And so that's when the 4th lady came over here. And she grabbed a dress with the baby in hand and said, this is the dress that I want for my wedding.
The 23-year-old says it was all a setup.
She's running out with the dress underneath her skirt.
Ellie says she tried chasing them down, but the first 2 women were holding her back, pulling her hair, and after a brief scuffle, she was able to break free and call 911. But the situation escalated.
This is when they started hitting me. They started pushing me with the car. That's when the lady jumps out and tries to push me. She's pushing me and trying to make me hit her with the baby. And she runs back, and so this is when they finally, like, you could see the car go like doink at the end, and that's when they hit my leg pretty hard.
The women got away with a $2,000 custom-made gown imported from Mexico, meant for a cultural performance during their 4th annual Dia de los Muertos event.
All this is handmade crystals that are applied to it. The applications as well had crystals. You don't see it, but there's a, I think, 30-inch tail with a giant bow.
Beautiful Catrinas showcases local teens dancing in Catrina makeup and traditional gowns, which are then raffled off within the community to help make a teen's birthday wish come true. An emotional blow to the community and this family-owned Hispanic business.
I think about, like, if my mom was here, or like my younger sister. Like I said, there's 4 of them, and I don't know like what they would do if what they're willing to like sacrifice.
For the Spotlight, I'm Alejandra Guzman.
Everett police tell me detectives are actively working to find these women. They urge anyone with information to call their department on their tip line at 425-257-8450. A recent call for the Pierce County Sheriff's Office prompted a rare deployment of 2 canine units. It all started with reports of a man walking around with a gun headed towards a daycare.
Stay inside for right now.
A daycare placed on lockdown on the morning of September 10th as deputies prepared for a potentially dangerous confrontation. Multiple people at the Aspen Creek Apartments in Puyallup reported a man walking around with a gun. Deputies learned it was a 36-year-old with felony warrants who's not supposed to have a gun. He disappeared before they arrived.
Get back inside. Back inside, please, K-9.
That's where K-9 Clark comes in, tracking down the suspect to a nearby home.
Hey, don't go in there. What are you doing?
He shut the door on deputies. but they soon had him in custody.
You got that bad man! Look at that guy! Yep, we're good. Good boys! That's a bad man!
Though the gun was nowhere to be found. To solve that mystery, they brought in Smokey the bomb-sniffing canine. It didn't take long for Smokey to find the firearm hidden in the house. It turned out to be a stolen gun. And the suspect is now facing charges including burglary, possession of stolen property, and unlawful possession of a firearm. As for Clark and Smokey, they were rewarded with chew toys and high praise from their handlers.
Hold on. Woo! That's a good boy, buddy! You got that bad man! Hey, Smokey, who's a good boy, huh? Who's a good boy, huh?
Well, here's a wild pursuit for Kent police. A bunch of farm animals on the run. Someone called 911 to report unattended piglets, pigs, and chickens obstructing traffic. Kent police posted video about it on Facebook, calling it an old-style farm roundup. The department didn't say where the animals came from or how they got loose, but said all the runaways were eventually put safely back in their pen. Well, that does it for us tonight on The Spotlight. Until next time, I'm David Rose. Please stay safe.